Good. Hey, good morning, everybody. Made a bunch of postings over the weekend. First one, most important lesson, I'll talk slower today, getting my voice back, is to journal all of your trades. What the hell does that mean? I'll just simplify it as I do. I journaled my trades from last week. I noticed every time I entered into a trade, at some point in the trade, I was down 10 or 11%. Sometimes it was worse. Sometimes it was a quick bounce higher. We'll talk about my last trade in a minute, and we'll talk about a few of my other trades, and we'll talk about the SPY and give you direction. SPY numbers, as far as the dark pool, were on point on Friday, so everybody should have been making money. But as far as I go, journal it. What does that tell me this week? It means everything I put in a bid for, whatever contract it is, calls, puts, I'm going 10% lower. I'm going to bid 90 cents and I'm get anxious to buy any options that I trade. I always get anxious. Oh, I want to get in. I know it's about to turn around. I know it's about to drop. I know it's about to spike. So I get anxious. However, if I looked at my journal, which I did, and all of my trades for last week, first off, my 8 out of 11 trades last week positive, okay? I'll talk about what other ways I can improve my trading technique, and hopefully you guys can learn from this and help you as well. But again, any trade I put in, gonna bid $1, ready to make the purchase on my phone? Nope, 90 cents. I guarantee it. I will get the same order executed. Why? Because history and data tells me so. So on the way out, right? 8 out of my 11 trades last week positive. On the way out, I looked at my exit price. And let's say I took $1.25 and I took 27%. On 10 out of 11 trades, I could have got more money. Even on the losing trades, I could have secured less of a profit. The only trade that wouldn't is that I exited out of Morgan Stanley puts, which I made 27%. And I mentioned about those on Discord. And I mentioned my exit as well, right? That's the only trade that it didn't go 10% higher. And I'm still not sure of that. So let's just bring up, let me just see if I added it to the stream correctly. I did. Okay, so let's get to Discord. And we're going to talk about the SPY ranges. But I brought up Discord. Why? Because let me find my posting. Welcome. Here's so many rooms for you guys to. Okay, my posting right here. Okay, so the SPY levels on Friday, and this is why everybody should have made money. Hopefully you guys can see this. SPY levels, we hit all of it. What did we do on Friday? If you joined me pre-market, we jumped up to 415. I said that would likely be a rejection point at 415. What happened? We hit the next dark pool level down, right? We hit that 411 level. But I mentioned 410.06 was the key dark pool support. What happened? We hit 410.06. And then what do? We hit it twice, double bottomed, and then we rebounded towards the end of the day, and we rebounded strongly. So what does that tell me going forward into this market? Well, it tells me first that the dark pool really helps. So if you're not using the dark pool, and let's just use it right now together, okay? You guys are with me. I want to help you. So we'll talk about my other trades at some point. Those we made a lot of money on. All right. That's a new stock. All right. Anyway, so let's go to the dark pool levels and let's see if somebody did them for me. Let's find the SPY dark pool levels right here. Thank you, Dre Trader. Okay. So what are we noticing? Let's just make sure everybody's with me. We are. What are we noticing about that? Okay. You're noticing this big stem. If you don't see anything else, you're seeing a huge stem. Now, what does that tell you? Dark pool level, 408.66. So if the market decides it wants to contract and go down off whatever news, I'm telling you there will be support at 408.66. Usually it's plus or minus 20 cents, but usually when it's a dark pool level like this, it's pretty abundant. It supports right on that level. So if the market does go down at any point today, tomorrow, the next day, you're looking for support on the SPY at 408.66. That could tell you I'll get out of my puts. That could tell you I'll get into my calls. It's here to help you, okay? Next, we'll look at the next level down. So let's just go, or next level higher, 411.23. Now, that's a big jump, right? Remember, we had 410.06. Then we had 411.06 or 16 or something like that. We're 411.23. We're 12 billion on the dark pool. What does that tell me? It tells me the dark pool level pushed up a little. So that would tell me I'm a little bullish on the market today. Now, if we're going to trade a range, we see 413.79 is the next dark pool level. But let's remember we went to 414 and slight change. So how am I going to trade today? I'm going to say to myself, trading a range. Okay, what is the SPY going to do today? SPY, I just showed you support around the 410 level that we spoke about. 414, 415 rejected. What do I assume is going to happen? We're going to trade those ranges today. So if I'm bullish on the market, I'm actually looking for a quick spike out of the gate, and then we're going to drop. And as soon as we find the bottom, whether it's 10.15, 10.20, we're going to do a quick reversal. The reversal might come sooner. It might be like 9.47, but I'm looking for a specific pattern today. I'm looking for a spike up at open, right? A quick drop, maybe a double drop, and then quick support. So we're going to recover really quickly. Now, what does that tell me? It tells me once I find the support, and I'll use the 1 minute chart. You can use a free chart. You can use, what do I like to use here? Trading View. Yeah, Trading View. It's a great chart. It's what I usually share with you guys. So anyway, what other news is going on that should affect the market? This I found extremely interesting. Okay. Gary Gensler, U.S. Congressman Warren Davidson, plans to file legislation to dismiss SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. Now, here's the point I found interesting, and I wish I could put it here. We all talk about the dark pool and dark pool trading, right? Here's what the dark pool used to look like as a percentage of trading. It is the black. As you can see, there's more trading that takes place in the dark pool than public marketplaces and exchanges over the last 2 years. So when I tell you all how important the dark pool is, please, if you're on Discord, and hopefully you're on our Discord, you can check the dark pools for any stocks. Now we can mention maybe Microsoft, maybe Google. There was an article. What was it over this weekend? Let me just see if I got that one too. Here we go. Samsung is considering removing Google as its default search engine on its phone and will be replaced by Microsoft. Now, clowns tell you everybody has an Apple iPhone, so it doesn't matter. That's not true. Samsung has a great percentage of market share. This is extremely important. And Google, if they are removed, will lose an estimated $3 billion in annual revenue, and an additional $20 billion is tied to a similar Apple contract that will be up for renewal. So imagine if Apple turns to Microsoft Bing for their search engine, the same way Samsung did. What would go on with Google? Right? Google is known as a search engine. Amazon has so many businesses that they run. Google has YouTube. Would they focus more on YouTube? Who knows? All right. All right. What other things do we have going on? Samsung's considering. I already mentioned that. I wanted to talk about China really quickly because I finally figured it out. And for those that did not figure it out, it's going to crash our market. So it's coming. We all saw that China ran some drills around Taiwan 2 weeks ago. What they're doing is they're basically testing their war strategy. I'll keep this segment short, but here's what's basically going to happen. They're testing their war strategy, seeing where their weaknesses are, how the world responds to it. Remember, everybody's worried about the war in Ukraine and Russia. So what's happening? China is testing their strategies. One of these times, it's not going to be a test. They're going to invade Taiwan. The markets are probably going to sell off. Oh, I don't know. They should sell off about 8 or 10%, but they're not going to. But it will be parabolic. So when you hear that news happening, and every time China does new tests around Taiwan, where their tests, blockades that they're doing, they have some larger idea in mind. So again, it's coming. They're going to invade Taiwan. It's just geopolitical events that's happening, but that will drive our markets down. So be prepared. And when you see it or hear it happening, please make sure you get in the correct positions. With that said, okay. Anyway, I wanted to mention that. So we have a bunch of Fed speakers this week. Tuesday, Bauman, 1 p.m. Williams, 7 p.m. Wednesday. Waller, Thursday morning, 8:45. So that'll have impact on the market. Bauman, Thursday, 3 p.m. So Thursday, I would look to be some type of shaky day. Now, remember, there's no real news that'll impact the market besides for earnings. So if earnings remain strong, expect the market to go up. If earnings come in weak, which I expect the market to go down. Doesn't mean I can't play both sides, because I'm actually bullish going into today until I decide otherwise. And again, what will tell me otherwise? It will tell me when I see rejection. If we spike up to 415 and see rejection, great. I know if 415 is the top, and we're going to trade a 4-point range today, right? 4-point range, then 411 could be the bottom. So again, that's how I'm going to trade my puts and calls. Now, earnings this week. Tesla, Netflix, IBM, Taiwan Semiconductor. If any of these ring a bell to you, and you should go on your watch list because you know how they're going to report. Not done. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Why is Morgan Stanley important to me? I think of all the banks, Morgan Stanley MS might disappoint, and I think they're coming out with earnings either Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember. I have to check that out. American Express. American Express generally beats. If American Express has problems, then the whole market will have problems. AT&T, Johnson & Johnson, which is being bought up like crazy. There is a rotation. Procter & Gamble, Philip Morris, Lockheed Martin, and United Airlines. These are the earnings I'm focused on. If any of these names sounded good to you, oh shit, I like airline stocks. Great. You don't want to trade United Airlines. You would rather trade Delta this week. Why? Delta doesn't have earnings this week. If United does and United beats and United pops 7%, Delta will pop 5.2%, and you're not paying for the IV. So please, same. I mean, Tesla, you got to kind of play Tesla if you want to play earnings. I don't play Tesla earnings, but I do own Tesla because I crush Tesla every time I play puts or calls. 21 wins, 2 losses. All right. What else do we have? Okay. This was a good posting I saw. I took a picture of it. Remember, my voice is coming back. Now, investing is a marathon. So here's the story, the lesson. $1,000 in your account. $1,000. If you have 100, just take a decimal off. $1,000 in your account. You make 1% trading a day. 1%. You have a real job. You're making 1% trading a day for 2 years. Just 1%. Your earnings will go up. Your balance, $1,000, right? 2 years later, $180,000. So people that are saying, I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that. You could trade one time a week. You could make 22% on one trade. Remember, we're waiting for an A+ entry. So again, I use the dark pools. I mentioned on Friday, we're going to 415, then 412.50, then 410. It all played out perfectly. So Friday was an awesome day for me. Hopefully it was for you as well. What was my last trade on Friday? Yes, AMC calls. Why? Because I happen to think, and I mentioned this pre-market on Friday, I think AMC is going to pop. The fact that it dropped 6.5%, maybe 9%, it was down at one point at $4.92. I got an AMC at $5.05, $5.06. What happened right after I posted about it? It went down. It went down to $4.92. I'm like, I caught the falling knife. Not only did I catch the falling knife, but I shared it with everybody. I gave everybody knives to fall on. But that's not the case because people got in cheaper than I did after I made the posting, right? And then AMC finished somewhat strong. Let's see where it is pre-market. Again, here's the catch with AMC, and here's what I'm fearful about. A ton of $3 puts were purchased. Just as many calls are being purchased as well. But the $3 puts telling me institution, there might be some type of sabotage. But AMC 8 family, where are we this morning? 524. Pre-market chart looks good. 5-day chart looks like poop. But what if we fill that gap? What if we fill that crater? That's what I'm expecting. And then I'm expecting retail traders to see when AMC pops to $5.76 or 77 cents, a whole bunch of people are going to join on. They don't want to buy AMC when it's cheap. But when AMC is going up, they want to jump on the bandwagon. I don't care. Use it to my advantage. I'm in calls. I'll get out. Now, one other stock I wanted to mention, and I'll bring it up. It's on Discord, and I showed you guys some charts. So let me figure out how to do this. Boom. I hate the stock, but it's SoFi, SOFI. So what would I do? Well, shit. First thing I would do is find the right room that it's in. Boom. There it is. Matt's trades. And here it is. So SoFi, I'm not buying it here. Okay. It's $5.92. I'm not buying it $5.92. Where would I buy it? Hopefully you all can see my cursor. Oops. But I'm going to buy it somewhere in here. $5.83, $5.82. I'm going to go into call options. Okay, so this is the 5-day chart. Again, you don't want to buy something when it's peaking up here on this chart. You'd love to get in down here, but we're not going to get that opportunity again. So where can we get opportunity? Right here, 575, possibly if we call the bottom on it, but most likely probably like a 583. Now, why do I like this chart? Okay, so I'll bring up this other large chart. Thank God you guys are looking at it with me because sometimes I just talk without putting it up. What do you see? Outflow, 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 which means people are selling at the bid. Outflow, outflow, outflow. Stock is still going higher. Market's been struggling. What's going to happen? It's going to break this 606. Now, let's remember, Jim Cramer recommended a stock at $8.88. What a fool that dude is. But what do we know was going to happen? It was going to retrace. Did I get in at $5? No, because I'm not calling the freaking bottom. It went up. They're still selling, taking profit. So I still don't want to be involved. Now I understand it could spike up here. So what am I looking for? Retracement. I still don't believe it because I don't like this stock. So I didn't want to get in here. Then I saw a retracement. Now I've seen 3 outflow days, decent volume, and the stock is going higher. That tells me that the stock is ready to pop, meaning the next time this stock has a decent inflow day, you're going to see 9, 10, 11, 12%. I'm hoping I get in time. I'm hoping it drops first. I have no position, but this is how I trade. What happens if it pops before I get in? Okay, so be it. I find another trade. That's just simple as that. What else did I want to share? What else is on that page? So let's go back to Discord. I wanted to share something else, and then we'll look at the dark pool levels one more time. Oh yeah, the AMC calls, right? $16 call after I purchased. What happened? They dropped to $12. $16 to $12 is what? 25%. So I was 25% down to start. Whereas I started this lesson live stream today, I mentioned if I'm down an average of 10% on the starting. So for those calls, let's just give an example. I paid $16. What am I going to do? 10% of $16, 1.6 cents. Well, I can't bid a middle cent. So let me take 2 cents. Instead of 16, I would have paid 14. $12 was the low. So again, it dropped $2 more from where I really should have gone in. But anytime I make a purchase today, I'm going to bid 10% under, unless you all are so perfect, which maybe some of you are. I am not. I suggest you do the same thing. You're going to pay $1.53 for an option contract. You're generally off 10, 12, 14, 16% after you buy it. Instead of buying it at 10 a.m. in the morning, put in your order at 10 a.m. Instead of $1.53, take 16 cents off, right? Go 137, I'm in. There you go. Turn off your phone, leave your computer, go back to work, go back to school, go grocery shopping, whatever it is you do. Guess what? At some point during the day, because just like me, you're probably off 10, 11, 12% at some point, your phone is going to beep and you're going to be like, okay, I got the contract I would be in, because you would be in that contract because you wanted to be in that contract. However, I got a 10% savings, which means the time that you exit, it's going to be so much cleaner and easier to exit. What else am I watching? I'm watching Boeing. Why? Because I thought Boeing was going to go down on Friday. It did. It went sub 200, and now it's at 201 this morning where it closed, and it's up probably like 0.5% this morning. So again, my tracker today, Boeing. Why? Boeing will tell me if Boeing fills this crater, then the Dow is going to go up. If the Dow goes up, it'll probably drag the NASDAQ with it. What else am I looking at? Of course, I'm looking at AMC. Okay, we're almost up 3%. Again, film this crater. All retail, in my opinion, are going to jump on when it gets about 30 cents higher. So when that happens, I'm still probably going to hold my options longer. Morgan Stanley. Why? Morgan Stanley, I want to get in puts. If any bank is going to disappoint, I think it's going to be Morgan Stanley. So what would I do? Well, if I say the market's going to be somewhat strong today, I'm going to look for rejection points in the market. So where could the market reject at? Okay, we're at 412.50 right now. Where are we per market? 412.60. So basically, I'm looking at the same points we saw on Friday. If it's an inflow day and they're buying at the market, I'm going to focus on 415. It's just a key right there. I'll share that level with you guys in a minute. Let me just see if I can remove it. Stop sharing, present. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask on the side. Again, if you have any stocks you want me to look at, ask. We'll look up the dark pool level. Let's make sure you guys can see this with me. Boom, add to stream. All right, great. So yeah, I use Trading View. I'm using a free version, so it gives me ads. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the chart, daily chart, right? So where are we seeing? Well, big spike. I mentioned last week, we can see some consolidation. What does consolidation look like? It looks like this. Now, if this top right here was lower than this top right here, then I would say, okay, we're going down over here. We're going back down. But right now, with this top being higher, this corner, right, it tells me that we're going higher. This is a bullish momentum. Now, again, I'm a bear. This bullish momentum. You can see here, bullish momentum dropped, went up, dropped, even had a good drop here. What they do, they bought for 6 straight days, okay? So what am I expecting? Well, I'm expecting we at least test 418 before we see a drawback. Again, me being a bear, it's okay, but I'm thinking we test here are my numbers. I wrote them down. Hopefully I fucking, oh, excuse me, I almost cursed. Hopefully I saved it. When I figure something out for myself, I take a picture. I write down key levels that I'm looking at, and then I save it. So my key levels for today, just under 411. I think we're going to bounce at 410.90 if we go down. Why? Because there's a good dark pool level at 411.18. So plus or minus 20 cents brings us to 410.90. Again, if we dropped out of the gate and we saw support at 411, I would say, okay, I'm getting in calls. There's a great strategy today. Again, if we drop out of the gate and find support at 411, I'm going to buy the dip guy today. And remember, I'm a bear. Now, what does that mean? 414.40. I also wrote down that number because I think we're trading to 414.40. When we break 414.40, understand the next level up is 418. It's 418.22 to be specific, but it's 418. So understand, if you see us at 415 and you see support and we haven't dropped, like it's not a spike and a drop, then we're probably going higher. Do I think it's going to happen today? Again, a lot of it's going to be based on earnings. Let me just see. I read you guys the earnings that I thought were coming out. Okay, no one asked about the Qs, but interesting level of the Qs. I hope I could read my notes. I write these notes down. I remember I came up with a great point this weekend. Qs on the higher side. Oh, 320. So anybody that's following any technology stocks, you're following Apple, Netflix, I guess NVIDIA is included in that, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, any of the big tech players, you want to pay attention to 320 on the Qs. So let me just see where the Qs are this morning. I wrote that down. It was like I had an epiphany, and I was like, the Qs at 320, because if they break 320, then they're going to 324. So we're sitting at 318.53. Here are the Qs. Okay, here's your last 5 days. Here's, again, what I consider consolidation. Last 2 days of inflow, yet we had it a little lower. So if we break that point right there, now I mentioned 320. If you look at the top of the table, you're looking at 320.62. Because if we break 320 on the Qs, then we're going to see 324. 324 is a whole 2% higher. So anytime, you used to, in the old days, I'm old, in the 90s, and a stock went up a quarter of a point or an eighth of a point, you were ecstatic. My stock is ripping. It's up an eighth of a point today. The fact that some stocks and even the market will move 2% in a week is just absolutely crazy. So Cool Chick is mentioning UAL. We can look at the dark pool levels for UAL, but again, UAL has earnings later this week. It's interesting. I would rather play Delta or a different carrier. What do I see on the airlines? Again, the airlines are going to follow Boeing. Airlines have been 3 straight days of outflow, yet they're kind of consolidating. They're not dropping off the face of the earth. So I actually like airlines. How terrible is that? And I don't like them if Jim Cramer likes them. But if Jim Cramer does not like airlines, I am okay with airlines right now. What would I do? Well, I'd stop sharing my screen here, and I would share Discord, because we'll go back to Discord, and we'll look at the dark pool, and we'll look at the flows. I mean, we'll do everything, okay, for United Airlines, because their earnings are coming out. So let's see what the heck big money is doing with United Airlines. So first, I want to go to the flow and algos room right here. I would use the how-to room if I didn't understand this. I'd be like, oh, I type in this right here. That's so freaking easy. It shows me the largest 10 option flows for the whole day. Well, then you know where big money's going. Oh, yeah, that's one of the easiest searches you could do. Look at big flow. All right, but for United, what would I do? TR, I'm going to look at the dark pool levels for UAL. I'm also going to look at the algo flow for UAL, and I'll look at the net flow for UAL. All right, so we'll look at all three. Now, again, if these don't come up on your stocks, then you're looking for them, then there's not enough volume. So what am I seeing? Let's look at them in reverse order. Let's look at the net flow. Net flow is telling me as the price is going down, the cost for calls is going higher. Okay, you can see the volume as well. You can see the momentum. You can see the cost for puts is still under zero for the premiums. That's a good thing. What's likely to happen? This is divergence. When the costs are going up here and the prices here, they usually cross over, intersect at some point, like here. So it's telling me that United's probably going to go up. What am I looking? Same thing with the algos. You're going to see them intersect here. They tried to intersect here. The price was coming down. The algos were going up. They should have crossed almost here, but they didn't. They will cross again. Where are they likely to cross? Probably somewhere over here, $42. How would I know? I would look at the dark pool level. 41.97 is the largest level. So I look at UAL saying 41.97. If it breaks through, if I see $42, then where do I know UAL can go? 42.39, 42.81, 43.23. Again, dark pool levels are small. If UAL beats, right, if they have earnings this week and they beat and 42 turns into support, then you might see them rip 10% higher. Smaller dark pool levels. You add all these numbers up, you add these two numbers up, right? It can totally overtake. Meaning this is about 98 million. This will be 37, 74, 87. I guess it's a little more. All right. But you could still maybe rip higher to 44. That would still be a massive move higher. I'd say maybe 44, 66, somewhere like that. So that's what I would base. I'm going to get bullish on United. I'm going to say we're going to hit 44, 60 something, and I'll say plus or minus. And if it's bullish, we probably see that 45 number. So if I'm looking at calls on United and I want to get bullish on this week, let's see what the IVs are paying costing me. So if I think we're going to hit 45, I might go in the $40 calls because I know even if it doesn't hit 45, I know the $40 calls, I'm still pretty good. If we cross over, my break even would be 42.25. It's at 41.95. Yeah, low side. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'd probably look at $40. I'm looking for 100% return. I want to make sure my risk reward is at least 2-1. So yeah, hit that like button. Don't worry, Team Cheek will get to you too, man. Let's look at Meta. Okay. Last one we'll look at Meta. What am I going to do? Go back to Discord. I'm going to type in those same searches. Why not? So we'll look at the net flow. And there are so many other searches that you could do to help you. But I just like these. When the market goes, I also like to look at the flow sum, which tells me the number of outstanding calls, puts, whether they were buys or sells. And then I'll look at the dark pool level, TR, right, DP level. Never works for me when I do all caps. DP levels and Meta. Okay, so we'll do this one. Let that fall in. Okay, so what am I seeing here? Net flow for Meta. Well, the price is pretty high. Okay, the algo is telling you it should be a little higher. Again, if the market is inflow and bullish today, which I've seen a lot of demand lately in the market, I was expecting it to drop. I saw the drop to 410 on Friday. I think the next level up. I mean, I'm still a bear, but I think we're going higher before we reject. That's just how I thought and think. Earnings will make us reject if we're going to. But again, Meta, I'm looking for a bigger deviation here. Price is still pretty frothy. Cost for premiums is still above 0. So that's telling me some people still believe Meta is going down. And Meta's ripping higher. Where is it? 220 something already? Meta. Look at the algo flow. Again, there's no divergence. This is divergence here. When the price was up here and the algos were telling you should be down here, what happened? The price dropped. It crossed over. Then the algos got really juicy on Friday, and that's when I knew the market was going to recover. So the algos for Meta, they're going to pop a little higher. If Meta goes to 222, you'll see the algos tell you it's supposed to be 225. They can both follow each other up, and then when the market finally has a pullback, they'll come back down. And then I'd look at the dark pool levels. I guess I will know the price in a minute of Meta because we need to see that to know the dark pool levels. So Meta is at, I was going to say 222. But 221, 49. Pre-market, we're sitting at 219. So we're looking at the dark pool levels. You're seeing 220.87, the same level here at 218.46. What are you noticing here? It gets larger as we're dropping. So one of these levels will turn to support. Again, this is 4 or 5, 6% lower than where we are right now on the stock. So where can Meta have a drawback to? Again, you want to follow the cues. I'm following the cues. I'm following 320 on the cues. If we break 320, we're going to 324. If that happens, Meta's going to 240. NVIDIA is going to 290. On the other hand, though, if the market drops, be prepared both ways. I already said I thought NVIDIA was going to go test out that 258 level, 260 level. I've been talking about it for days, and I was bearish on NVIDIA for days. With that said, if you like what I said this morning, you're happy that I'm here, please give me a thumbs up. And I'm headed over to Discord. Anybody wants to join me and put together a great morning video over there. And we have Romeo. He's live trading today. Finally, Romeo at 10:15 this morning. So hopefully everybody will drive his live trading. Again, he's been crushing it for months. I don't know why he switched from 9:15 to 10:30 or 10:15, but it seems to be working just as well. How much is Discord? I think it's what? $34.99. But again, we're providing you all the algos and everything else that people like Tradie Ticks and everything else. You know, they're like, oh, here's $49 a month. It's $100 a month. So you're getting all that market updates, live trading, and focus. You're getting lessons. Focus on one stock, one ETF. If you can master that, dude, you would crush it. Anybody can master one stock. Somebody's asking about PayPal. I didn't get to it today. I just saw it right now. But if you can master PayPal and you know the trends and you know how much it trades in a daily range, up 3 points, down 4 points, whatever, you're going to crush PayPal over and over. You're going to trade PayPal 2 or 3 times a week. Each time it's going to be like 40, 50, 60% profit. So, yeah, have a great one, everybody. Head over to Discord. You're all welcome to join me over there.